Am I the asshole for expecting family members to boycott my cousin's wedding after him and his GF backstabbed, betrayed me and intentionally hurt me? Is it too much to expect family members, especially my uncle, to take a stance and boycott my cousin's upcoming wedding after him and his GF betrayed, backstabbed me, and intentionally hurt me? Let me just set the background. My 27F cousin, 27M, and I are the same age. And we're close friends ever since we were around 6 years old. When he turned 17, he moved to MI. I stayed back home and got my bachelor, and moved to MI around the age of 22. We have lots of family and cousins in MI. When I got there, we picked up where we left off. We became instant best friends again and we spent all of our free time together. He started seeing a girl and things got serious. Her and I naturally became best friends. The three of us would spend every day, night together, go out together, travel together, etc. They've spent countless nights at my place. I've spent countless nights at theirs. I would dog sit and house sit whenever they traveled for work or social obligations. When we weren't together, we communicated over various social platforms numerous times per day. You know the usual between close friends. This went on for several years. When I first arrived, I needed a job, so his girlfriend got me a job on her team at her company. She was my direct supervisor. We had a blast for a couple of years, working with my best friend. That's the dream. We would hang out before, during and after work. Now to talk more about this cousin. When he moved to MI, he was distant with the rest of the family. He abandoned his parents. He would almost never show up to family gatherings. He almost never called any of his uncles, cousins and check up on them. His GF had a lot of control over him. He is the type of person who would follow a chimp to the ends of the earth if that chimp touched his PP. He also had no balls and no personality. He would never stand up for himself and always let her make all of his decisions in life, big or small, whether where to live or what to have for breakfast, who he can socialize with and when. She had absolute control of his life. She alienated him from his parents and family. She manipulated him like a puppet, literally. He was hers to command in every aspect of his life. He was not an active member of the family. He was extremely unreliable towards them. He never helped. He would only call the other cousins when he needed something. A ride to, from airport. A ride to, from mechanic, help moving, financial advice, money etc. They eventually got used to that and accepted the fact that he is selfish and self-centered and they stopped trying to be his family. I, on the other hand, always tried to defend him and advocate for him since he was always nice and close to me. Big mistake. COVID hit, and we started working from home. Naturally, our jobs became harder and the company was struggling to bring in money. All teams were struggling and most employees were not hitting their goals and monthly targets. My performance was well above average and I received a promotion. A few months go by and the company, like all other companies around the US, starts laying off employees. During the 2 months leading up to my layoff, several other teams lost their jobs. My supervisor, who's also my best friend, was worried and would tell me on a daily basis what was going on and which team got laid off. She also notified me when the company did not renew the lease on their offices and that the company moved their operations to the Philippines. One team's yearly salary and benefits here would be enough to operate 10 teams in the Philippines. In the weeks leading up to my layoff, she kept confiding in me that one day soon, we would wake up and not have a job. My cousin, naturally, was witness to all these conversations. That fateful day arrives, and she calls me from her personal cell to my personal cell to tell me that I was laid off. She kept her job. The next day, she emails me and tells me to apply for unemployment. Things between us did not change, as it was nothing personal, it was the company's decision. I apply for unemployment, and while filling out the app, I call her and get her advice on certain information, specifically, to confirm that I was laid off, to which she confirms. The three of us would continue to be the best of friends and even travel to Mexico together. About 6 months later, I find a new job and things turn around for me. Or so I thought. A few months after that, I get a letter from the unemployment agency telling me that I was ineligible. And that I was fired. The first thing I do is call my cousin's girlfriend to inquire about that. She was more shocked than I was. She claimed that she was not sure what happened and that the company is not being honest, and that I was definitely laid off. I respond back to the agency and we go back and forth for the next few months, with the company adding more accusations. They claimed that I committed fraud, tampered with company database, used profanity in the workplace and another ridiculous and BS accusation. During that time, I saw my cousin and his GF very frequently and we discussed this issue and they both were always shocked and upset about the situation. They knew my work ethics and they acknowledged that the company is just trying to save money and is trying to screw me over. About 6 months after the first notice, I get a final notice saying that I have two options. Either appeal and take it in front of a judge, or accept the accusations and pay back $18,000. The money is obviously an issue, but I am also concerned about the accusations, since I know I am 100% in the right, and that I am being victimized and screwed by the company. I obviously hired a lawyer and chose to take it to court. Around that same time, my cousin and his GF would cut ties with me completely. They go total radio silent on me. I try to reach out to no avail. I put 2 and 2 together and fill in the blanks, but in the back of my mind, I can't fathom that they would stoop so low and betray me like that. I could not accept the fact that someone so close would backstab me like that. I could never hurt a stranger like that, let alone a close family member or friend. My integrity and principles are way more important than a job or money. The first court date arrives and lo and behold, my cousin's GF fiancé now is there as a witness for the company. She stood there and lied and said that I was a bad employee and that all the company was accusing me of is true. I was hurt and felt like a knife was stabbed in my heart and twisted. After the court, I stepped outside and vomited for 20 minutes. I was distraught. I could not believe what was happening. I tell everyone in the family about this. Naturally, they all stand by me and agree that this has crossed a line and that family should not betray each other like that. My cousin, on the other hand, is repeating the same lies. Statements and sentences his GF said in court, word for word, to the family. Naturally, his parents and siblings believe his lies and BS. He is repeating the same stories. When confronted by a couple of my other cousins, he would fumble every time they sidetrack or find an inconsistency in his lies. They eventually corner him and he admits to them that he is aware of the decision he made and that he knew what he was doing and is fine with the betrayal. He paints it as another mild incident that is not a big deal and should not be blown out of proportion. All the family is siding with me, except for one uncle and his son. Our families are very close and have been for decades. Both of them are saying that I am blowing things out of proportion and that I am overreacting and that everyone is free to do as they see fit. My uncle is saying that he has to go to the wedding because he has been a close friend with my cousin's father for almost 50 years and has no other choice. I disagree with that choice. I feel like he has to take a stand and not go to the wedding as this cousin betrayed me and intentionally hurt me. I think my uncle should automatically stand with me, his niece. If he really respects and loves my cousin's father, he should approach him and tell him that he apologizes but cannot attend his son's wedding due to what he did to his niece. And if that guy is rational, and truly reciprocates the same respect for my uncle, he should understand and not hold any bad feelings. If he does, it's his problem, but at least, my uncle did the right thing. My uncle and his son and trying to portray that being neutral and impartial in this situation is equivalent to being mature and the bigger person. I think this is absolute cowardice, and a lack of principles and integrity. Is it too much to expect family to stand by me and boycott that lowlife's upcoming wedding?